And we are live. This is Travis Witherspoon from Carter Cow Trading. Trade with Travis on YouTube, on Instagram, obviously Carter Cow Trading. I hope everybody's doing very well. Now we're going to try this out. My internet has been running slow. A little bit of a backstory. End up getting my yard aerated, and the equipment that was used ended up puncturing a hole in my actual line, so it actually ended up messing up the actual line. So wasn't able to not able to use my regular internet. I'm actually using a box that I ended up borrowing from my dad. So I want to see how this actually works and see if it actually works out for us. If not, then obviously we tried, and that's the reason why we're trying to do this in the first place. We want to make sure that we can be able to get done. Now, for the people that are on YouTube, for the people that are on Facebook, if you're able to see this and everything else like that, that is great. If not, then I'll send a recording, and after that, we'll be able to go on from there. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I want to do is teach you education, and from that education, you can be able to make your own informed decision about what you want to do for Forex trading. I understand that Forex involves risk. That involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. Please keep that in mind. Performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it is not promised that you're going to end up making money today. So with that being said, hopefully everybody's doing very well. I'm looking at people on Instagram. Hopefully everybody's doing very well on Instagram. Hopefully you end up having a very good weekend. For the people that are on YouTube, Trade with Travis, obviously we do this each and every morning at 7 a.m. to 7:30. Trade with Anna. Hopefully everything is going on well with you. Post in or send a currency pair or anything else like that you want to be able to take a look at. We'll go ahead and go through it. Typically we look at US based pairs, but I do look at the NASDAQ 100 and getting into Bitcoin a little bit when it comes down to looking at that on the charts as well. So hopefully everybody's doing very well. Getting ready to send over my charts. If you want to see what I'm actually doing live stream, you can go to Trade with Travis on YouTube, and that's actually posting out live as well, so you can see my charts. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the economic calendar. Let's talk about what ended up happening a little bit earlier this morning. We didn't have any news from an economic standpoint this Sunday if you look at fxstreet.com, but overall, we have a lot of stuff that's about to happen with the Eurozone and the pound that's going to end up happening a little bit later on today. So there's a couple issues that may end up happening. There may end up being a situation that Brexit may end up being a part of the conversation on Monday for that information that should end up coming out, and also being able to take a look at what's going on with any type of stimulus that may end up going on with them. They actually end up having another wave of coronavirus cases that actually end up coming out in the Eurozone as well. So we have to be able to pay attention to that as we're actually going through and taking a look at what's actually happening. Now, my computers are very slow, so if you are posting out comments that you are saying, hey, hopefully you can be able to see it from your end. Quite frankly, I can't see it on my end, so I end up working through it. If you are, then obviously we end up going from there. I promise you I end up making it up when it comes down to this a little bit later on today. So let's talk about what's going to end up happening today. From an economic standpoint, today is considered to be a trader's day. There's not that much news that's going to end up coming out aside from what's going to happen with the Eurozone and what's going to end up happening with the pound, and being able to look at those overall charts. My screen is going to end up being a little bit slow, so please bear with me while we're actually going through that and trying to get this done. And if I have to reset the screen or whatever may be the case, or reset or try to see if I can get it to be able to load back up, then obviously that's what I'm going to end up doing. But trying to make do. While that's loading up, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the US dollar index, and we'll get into that while this market is actually moving. So overall, what's happening with the US dollar index? Switching over my screen, you end up taking a look at this market end up going from being a long-term bearish movement since March, end up popping up bullish and giving us a little bit of hope when it came down to this overall move. It broke out, it retested, broke out again, had this huge wave up to the daily 5-0 and basically end up hitting that position. We were looking for the market to go up to the weekly 382, which was right around 12,235. But since then, the market has basically rejected and fell all the way back, almost to the same point of where the market actually ended up starting at 11,963. Now, we're looking at what's happening right now. We can see that this market was really in the buy zone, and we started to get a little bit of a pop up when it comes down to this overall move. Now, the question is this market going to end up staying in this overall move and starting to be able to break out of this overall inner trend line, and then after that starting to push up from there? That's something that we do have to consider, but at this particular point, because the market has been so down off of this overall move, and let me see, zoom out just a little bit. And let me erase these. I don't know how that kind of got switched up. So if we're looking at this, here goes your outer trend line right here and the way that the market is moving. We go back and we look at how the market basically ended up touching off of this overall spot from this area to right around here. That would be your inner trend line. Okay, so the market is basically moving from an innermost trend line that was broken before. And I'm getting ready to show you what that looks like right here. So that has been broken right there. So the first portion of the wave of this from a 2-hour perspective has been broken. But if you look at it from a daily, if you look at, you definitely look at it from a daily perspective.